Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am crafting with the Not Too Shabby box of the month for September 2024, and my card today is actually inspired by a couple of my friends who are also teaching at the Not Too Shabby Enjoy This Life virtual retreat. If you're catching this video before September 14th, then you can still join us live, because even though the workshop videos are pre-recorded, all of us instructors are going to be in the live chat. So I hope you'll join us for that. And specifically, the two designers who have inspired my card today are Lauren Taylor Made here on YouTube and Carrie Rhodes. So Lauren's class is all about watercoloring. I actually haven't watched either of their classes, even though I did do the final editing for the workshop videos or the retreat videos. But I've seen a lot of the inspiration that both of them have shared out to their socials, and that have been shared out to the Not Too Shabby Instagram and Facebook. And I really am very intrigued by what they'll be teaching us. So I'm just going to kind of take their headline and run with it. So Lauren's class is all about watercoloring, and Carrie's class is all about DIY pattern papers. So I thought it would be fun to try to kind of merge those two ideas, and I'm going to create my own background, and I'm gonna use actually both of the, or I should say 2 out of the 3 stamp sets has a lot of leaves and fall foliage, and so I've pulled all of them out, and I'm going to stamp out this repeat pattern, making sure to actually stamp off the edge of the panel so that it kind of looks like this was just a larger piece that's been cut down. I did start with just a light wash of color just to take away some of that white, and I am working on a watercolor paper because I'm not using a ton of water. It's actually not very much water at all, but I knew that I wanted to layer. So that first wash of color, you saw me just scribble directly onto the paper, and then just using my paintbrush with some water, I spritzed the panel and used my watercolor brush to dissolve all of that really lovely pigment. Now I'm using the Tim Holtz watercolor crayons, which they're heavier than I would have expected them. Each of those crayons is pretty heavy. So I believe it's there's no core to it, so it's all pigment. And I feel like these are gonna last me forever because those crayons are pretty big and they feel pretty dense. So really great. I got them on a sale, but to be honest, I feel like for as large as these crayons are and for how much pigment you get, it's a pretty good price even at full price. And what I'm doing is my watercolor paintbrush does have water, and I do have some extra water on my glass mat. And so if you occasionally see me kind of scribbling on my glass mat, it's to pick up more water. And I'm just swiping off the tip of the crayon to pull pigment off of it. Now, you do want to be a little bit careful, because if you are using a lot of water, you might waterlog your crayon. And then when you go to swipe, there'll be like a lot of soft dissolved pigment, and you actually might pull off more pigment than you were intending. These colors are pretty pigmented. The payload on them is actually quite wonderful. So do make sure you're being a little bit conservative with your water. A couple times, especially as I picked up the red color, it was a bit now it's a bit strong. You can always add some water to that to help dissolve that a little bit more and to move it around. But sometimes maybe that's what you want. And I did want some areas with some pretty strong like a reddish orange, because you'll see in a moment when I put my card together, that's all going to tie in really nicely with the rest of the card. And so, you know, sometimes that's what you're going for, but if you're not looking for like that super saturated color, just be careful to, one, let your crayon dry a little bit if you've got too much water on it and it's a little bit waterlogged, and then, or two, maybe rotate the pencil or the crayon so that you're swiping off of like a drier, harder spot. So before we get too much further along, I do want to mention that my video today is part of a giveaway hub. So if you expand the description box below, you'll find a link to where you can enter all of your information in order to put yourself in for a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Not Too Shabby shop. As well, in the description box will be a link to a playlist where you can find all of the other videos on this hub. So I hope you'll hop along and see more inspiration from my design teammates who will be sharing projects from some of the other subscriptions that just released. So Not Too Shabby has a paper pad club where you get 2 6x6 paper pads, and if you want, there's an option to get the coordinating ephemera pack with one of those paper pads. There's a stamp and die of the month. You have the option to get just the stamp by itself, or if you like having a coordinated die with your stamps, then you can get both the stamp and the die together. And then, of course, the box of the month, which is what I'm crafting with. And the box of the month always comes with 2 6x6 paper pads. Each of them has a coordinating ephemera pack, and as well, typically you'll get 3 4x6 stamp sets. Sometimes some of the boxes might be a little bit mixed up a little bit, where you might get a stencil, you might get a 6x8 stamp set. So sometimes there's going to be some different options there, but this month there's 3 4x6 stamp sets. And if you like having coordinated dies, often the coordinating dies for the stamp sets that come in the box, they are sold separately. So some people don't need the dies because they enjoy fussy cutting. That's not me. Some folks have a brother scan and cut, which you can always use to cut out your images as well. So that's why it's an option to pick it up separately if you'd like. And if you do subscribe to any of the subscription clubs on a monthly basis, then you'll get these at a bit of a discount. I think you get 18% off if you actually subscribe to receive it monthly, which is a nice little savings, especially if you know that you're going to want to get them every month. Of course, there is always the option to kind of pick these up a la carte too. So on the first of the month, actually before the first of the month, Jamie does sneak peeks on the Not Too Shabby channel. So you can always see what the upcoming subscriptions are. If you are subscribed to the Not Too Shabby Shop YouTube channel and you hit that notification bell, then you'll get an alert anytime new videos get posted. And with the box of the month, it's actually been selling out pretty quickly these days. And so if you are interested in becoming a subscriber, there's a waiting list. So if you add your name to the waiting list whenever an opening comes up where new enrollment is opened, then you'll get an email from Jamie. So I am going to keep this card really simple. I started with some pattern paper as my backmost matte layer with that lovely, you can see the color matched pretty well. That orange from the paper pad is gorgeous. And so it helps to really tie everything else in. And then I'm just going to add the fall sweet fall sentiment, and that's it, because I really want that background panel that I created to be the star of this card. It's actually the reason why I pushed the sentiment all the way into that corner there, because I want more of the pattern paper showing. And I thought I might add some enamel dots to this card, but really I don't think it needs it. I really love just keeping it nice and simple, letting that background sort of shine, and I just didn't want to cover any of it up. And you can see my watercoloring is super messy. It's not all that, realistic with the shadows and highlights. It's not even all within the lines. I think that's the beauty of watercoloring, is that you can get a little bit messy with it. You can get a little bit more freeform with it. Really had a lot of fun putting my card together today, and I can't wait for Lauren and Carrie's classes. I don't know what techniques they will show, but I'm sure I'm gonna learn a ton. Thanks so much for checking out my video. Don't forget, in the description box is a link to where you can enter for the giveaway, and as well where you can find the playlist with all of the other videos on this hop. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!